All right. Welcome back to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and we are about to get it cracking. As you guys know, each and every week, you got to give me a second. Bear with me to share the link out with a few special people. But then after that, we will make it happen. How's everybody doing this lovely evening? Hope everybody is good. Hope you got that Steelers blood pumping through your veins and you're ready to get started. Even though we don't have a lot to talk about here tonight, man, I'm hoping that you guys, will take over. You guys will call in or, give me something to talk about. Because, again, I don't have a whole lot to dive into tonight, as you can see the title there. All right, give me a quick second, guys, and we'll go ahead and make it happen. Just a quick second. Let me send out the link to a few specials. And then I will say what's up to you guys who are already in the chat, and then we'll get it going. But once again, how's everybody doing this lovely evening, man? I hope everybody's great, feeling good, feeling great. Hope so. Hope everybody's weekend was lovely. Give me a moment, guys. Here we go. I got to find Floyd's number. Let me text it to him, and then I will be before you guys. All right, here we are. Let's see who's already in the chat, man. Let's give a shout out to the early viewers. Let's see who they are. Shout out to Michael Garman. My good brother Tony is in the building. Ali Howard in the building. Laquan Lightly. Jay Vega. Blair O'Neal. Big Dro. Boulevard Ware. Nays is in the building. Steel City Savage. And that's about it right now. Let me see what some of you guys are saying here early. Sim caught you early, but gotta go watch full video later. All right, no problem, man. No problem. That's never a problem, man. Catch it when you can. I'll wait a few more moments to let a few more of you Steelers faithfuls get up in here, and then we'll dive deep into it. And like I said, man, tonight I'm really relying on a lot of you guys, man. I don't have a lot to talk about tonight. There's really not a lot going on. To be honest with you, man, there's not a lot of information out there. I will check the websites. I'll do this in live format here. I'll check some of the sites, man, to see if there's anything worthy of talking about. It's really not, man. There's really not a lot going on. Let's see. Don't see a lot of stuff, man. They did say that we did sign Sutton Smith already, so not breaking news or anything there. You figured that would happen. Let's see. We also signed Isaiah Buggs, I see. All right, but yeah, like I said, not a whole lot to talk about, man. We'll talk about a couple different things, and we'll go ahead and get it cracking. So let me go ahead and remind you guys, man, if you want to call in, please do. This is the night to do it, because again, I don't have a lot on the docket. I'm going to commit to that probably next week. And again, I want to try to commit to this, but I really can't because my schedule is a little crazy this week. But I want to start doing a few more profiles, man. Maybe do a couple Steeler report videos where I'm showing footage or showing some of the highlights of some of these guys we picked. We can kind of look at the plays and live it, and live and in color right here on the show. And then we all can break it down together. Give our quick thoughts, because, again, there's nothing really to talk about right now, man. This is going to be a lull period. I know we got the rookie minicamp coming up this weekend, so we'll definitely have something to talk about there. But other than that, as far as concrete news, not really a lot of stuff to talk about, man. I think what I want to do, I recommend you guys do it. Let's look at the guys who are on the team. Let's focus on the guys that's on the team. Let's focus on the guys that we think will make the team. Even some UDFAs. Let's focus on some of those guys. Maybe some of the guys that we might have, we might be fan favorites of. And let's look and see what these guys can bring to the table and what we think they may be able to bring to the table. And I encourage you, man, look at some film. Maybe a lot of you guys maybe don't break it down the same way as I might. You might do it a little differently. Or you might not do it like Steel Jedi or, a guy like Kenyon. Or, you might not do it to that capacity, but at least look at these guys and try to find some things that you like, find some things that you dislike, and then we can discuss it here. If I can't answer the question, I'm sure somebody in the chat can. If you want to say, hey, man, I saw such and such and such about this player. What do you think about this, what he did here, or lack of thereof, something he did there? And then, we can have some real fan discussion. So this is the time to do it. We got a long time pretty much until training camp. So, this is the time for us to get familiar with these guys who are in-house now, particularly the guys that, we expect to make the team and how we think they might impact the team. Just like I put in the title, which one of these draft picks do you think will have the biggest impact this season? Okay, and that's something to discuss. We can chop that up here tonight. And that's really all I got tonight, man. So this could be a short one. Again, if you guys want to call, 619-924-0818. Share your thoughts. Share your thoughts. If you guys want to donate, I always have to say that. Down in the bottom right corner, click the $sign if you want to donate here on YouTube. If you prefer Cash App or if you prefer PayPal, I have those options available as well. Check the description. It's right there. I give you both of the names and both pieces of information. Or if you want me to say it aloud, I will. So just let me know. But all right, man, let's see what you guys got really quick. Don't really see anybody in the call queue. Let me see what some of you guys, got. Since I don't have a lot to talk about, man, I'll visit some of the, some of the chats early. See what y'all got here. Chris Maxwell said Deontay Johnson, he can't be covered. Okay, that's a good observation, man. That dude has a very quick first step. Off the line, he could be a little deadly. Again, what I want to see him work on is his strength. And again, the easy comparison is people are going to compare him to AB. I'm guilty of it as far as just saying what he might be able to do. Same conference, pretty much the same body style. They seem to play similarly, as far as their play style. So those are the kind of the things I'm looking at. He has some AB in him in terms of footwork and route running and, how he gets off of the line and did that first step. He's going to have to get a little stronger, though, because, when guys get their hands on him, they can pretty much lock him. So, he's going to have to work on some things the same way Antonio Brown did, man, when he came in the league. But I think this dude has a lot of potential. We're definitely going to profile him as far as video format on the next show. Again, it might be during the week. It might be a Steeler report. But if not, we'll definitely hit it here on Terrible Towel Tuesday on one of these weeks. We'll look at some film together. Let's see what else you guys got really quick, man, before I dive into my thoughts. Expert says Bush and Deontay. Okay. Jay Vega says Snell. What up, Murata? Two Kids says, why does every kicker we extend have a trash season right after? I wish I knew the answer to that, man. We got a call in the queue, guys. Let's go ahead and grab the caller, man. It ain't no need of wasting no time tonight, right? I'm relying on you guys to give me a topic tonight. Let's help each other. There's not a lot of news out there right now. Whoa. Shout outs to Myron Sanders. Hold on, man. Let's give Myron a round of applause. 1 second here. Where is it? There it is. Appreciate the donation, Myron. Really appreciate you, man. Appreciate the donation. And guys, in case you're wondering if, I'm going to be 100% with you guys. In case y'all are wondering, I might look a little different right now. I'm a little winded. Just came from the gym. And look at this. Even when I'm in the gym, I'm repping Steelers gear. Literally just came from the gym. Got my water bottle here. My wife is still there. Had to get it in. And speaking of that, man, just a quick public service announcement. And I'll say this later in the stream for you guys who come in later. Make sure, man, you're taking care of your health, guys. Get to the gym, regardless of what size you are, whether you're a big guy, small guy, medium guy, get to the gym, man, not only for weight loss and keeping your weight, intact, but, for internal health. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, man. A lot of you guys that watch me, are 30 and above. Some of you guys are younger than that. Some of you guys are older than that. We've had people call here in the 50s and 60s. I appreciate that. So take care of yourself, man. And I also made an appointment today for my annual checkup. My doctor's busy, so I can't get my physical until July the 15th. But make sure you guys are doing that, man. Let's not be stubborn guys and don't go to the doctor. Take care of yourself, especially you guys that have insurance. There's no excuse. Take care of yourselves. But all right, man, let's go ahead and grab the caller. Area 609. Right after that, 810. Give you guys a couple minutes. 609. You are live. Welcome to the show. What you got for us tonight, man?
What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
What's going on?
Not much. Just like you said, early in the show, man. First topic. I think the first topic is who you think like undrafted free agent rookies can like make the team or make an impact. Who do you think?
I'm gonna go with PJ Locke, man. That's my darling right now. I think I like the other kid too, man. The other safety from West Virginia. I can't remember his full name now. Askew Henry, I think, something like that.
Right.
But PJ Locke, man, if you look at his games, I mean, of course, they all need polish. They all need things to work on. But I just like the way he plays. And I like this about him. I'm glad you asked me this question because it reminded me. He reached out to Ryan Clark. He'll be training with Ryan Clark this summer. And the funny thing about it is when I saw him, he reminded me of kind of the way that Ryan Clark played. Now, let me say this, the full disclosure. We all know Ryan Clark wasn't the best in coverage. But just the way... Yeah, he was decent. He wasn't bad, but this guy kind of reminds me of him. I mean, he's a missile. The way he tackles all over the field. And I think he has the chance, man, because our safety depth right now, I mean, we talking about Dangerfield, probably the next guy, if we don't include your man P.J. Locke or the West Virginia safety. Because, again, behind Terrell Edmonds and Sean Davis, who's really there?
Really nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So...
Nat Burhay? No, we don't trust Nat Burhay in coverage.
No.
Like we already saw what's going to happen with that. But now, let me talk about the rookies, I think. To be honest, I think I have probably 3 or 4. I'm going to name them. Number 1, Devin Bush. Mm-hmm. I got a feeling he's just going to, be lights out this season. Deontay Johnson, I don't know. He doesn't remind me of Antonio Brown. He reminds me of a poor man's Stephon Diggs. And there's nothing wrong with Stephon Diggs. You saw how, Stephon Diggs is successful with the Minnesota Vikings and stuff. Benny Snell, yeah, I got a feeling he's going to get playing time because, no offense to James Conner, I got a feeling he's going to get injured. It's going to happen. He's a running back and stuff. Who else? I think Isaiah Buggs as well. I think Isaiah Buggs going to get some playing time as well because, Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt has to get, rotation and stuff like that. So, plus he's a better prospect and stuff like that too and stuff. I think he might be still, a ball like picks and stuff, but we're going to see.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. You named some good people there, man, and I appreciate your call. Thank you for that, man. We're going to grab the next couple callers. If I was a little bit low, guys, I just realized for whatever reason, man, the software that I use to stream, it keeps changing my level. So my microphone was a little low. So hopefully I'm back a little louder now, more clear. And let me know, guys, if the caller was clear as well, because I turned their audio up. I see we have some other callers, but let me just comment on what he said. Yeah, I agree with the Benny Snell. Let me hold that. Let me wait until, we get through the calls and then I'll give you my thoughts, because I don't want to steal any thunder or whatever. Let's go ahead and grab the next call. Area code, hold on, guys. Give me a second. My window closed up on me here. Here we go. All right, area code 810. Welcome to the show. You are live. What you got for us?
All right. Flintstone right here. It's your boy Vision.
Oh, what's going on?
I can't see, but I got it. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Like I say, even though I can't see, man, these Steelers, man. Hey, the dude, I'll be on the radio. What's their name? Tunch.
Oh, Tunch. Yeah.
Tunch, yeah. I'll be listening to Dave, man. They bring the games out for me real good, man. But hey, back to what you were saying. Who I think will be an impact, man, it got to be Bush, man. And I remember the last time I was on here, I said Steelers need to find that identity, man, because back in the day, Greg Lloyd, I still bring up Greg Lloyd. Bush, he got that nastiness in him. You remember what he did to Michigan State, on the turf and everything.
Oh, man.
He got a little nastiness in him. And I like that, man. It's not overkill. It's not overkill, but he lets you know he's, beware of him. You know what I'm saying? So I do like that. And I think the defensive tackle that we got, I think, he's going to fit in that rotation. Now, to the guy you like, you keep bringing up Texas. Now, understand, I'm an OU guy. Check out I'll be watching I don't watch, but I listen to OU game every Saturday, man. And I'm a big OU fan. Now, you bring up PJ, what's his name? PJ from Texas, correct?
PJ Locke, yeah.
Right. Man, they was killing me, man. on the coverage, the wide out of Oklahoma, they was killing me. But I'm telling you what, the dude can hit, because he laid a couple of our boys. He laid a couple of them out there. The dude can hit. The dude can hit, man. He can hit, for what they were saying. He can hit. Now, the other guy from West Virginia, man, they was peeling him like a banana. Peeling him. So they was peeling him, man. OU receivers, man, this was when they had Tyler on the team, Tyler Murray on the team. So they was killing him back there. So, but yeah, man, but still, those two might even measure up better than what we got. You know what I'm saying? Better than what we got on the team. Dangerfield, no respect, I think they might be even a little bit better than what they are. And other than that, man, I'm pretty good. I did get my feelings hurt about the draft, man, because Cincinnati, man, they got that running back, Anderson, but he was right there for the picking, man. 6th round. Watch that kid, man. Watch him. If he stay healthy, I'm gonna tell you, that's the steal of the draft right there. If he stay healthy, that's the steal of the draft. He went number 6. He went 6th round. Steal of the draft, man. His name Rodney Anderson. Check him out, man. Check him out. And he was there for the. Now I don't know too much about Snell. I know a lot of people own Snell. You know what I'm saying? I think he a bruiser back, right? That's.
Yeah.
That's what the Steelers need, is that bruiser back.
He got a little bit of quickness with him. Yeah, we do. We need some speed.
I think we need a home run hitter, man. I really do, man. So, but yeah, that's my thought, man. Once again, man, boom, you knocking it out the park, man. Stay safe, man, and be cool. Thank you.
No problem, man. Thank you as well. And guys, for you guys that don't know, man, let's give him a round of applause right away. Big round of applause to my man there, man. In case you guys don't know, for you guys who listen every week, he is our viewer that, he said he lost his eyesight, man. And I don't know if he's completely blind, but, he can't really see and watch the games. And the fact that he calls in and he's still a passionate fan, not only just following me, but just listening to the games. And I'm going to say watch, because regardless, you're following it, whether you're seeing it or not. Very inspirational, man. Very inspirational. And again, when he called the first time, it touched me a little bit, because listen, I'm just an average Joe like you guys. I'm just a fan that's passionate about the Steelers, and I like doing this. I like delivering content. So for somebody like that to find their way to me, I'm beyond grateful. And give me just a second, guys. For whatever reason, man, my browsers were acting up. I had to shut everything down. I'm going to get the next caller here in just a moment. I don't know what is happening here. Computer did something crazy. The browser that I'm using is this Microsoft Edge, because I just never updated the other browsers on this particular computer. Definitely need to get back to my Google Chrome action. But I should be back here in just a hot second so I can grab the next callers. Give me about 2 seconds. Here we go. All right, area code. Who was next? 267. Live in the building. What you got for us tonight, man? Hello? 267. 267.
You there, Sam?
There you go. Yeah, I'm here. What's going on, man?
All right. Not too much. I wanted to ask if it was all right if I went a little bit into storybook mode with my 2 minutes of fame. I wanted to talk about. It's actually about something you said in one of your videos. I think it was before the end of the season. I think it might have been the week that we went into the Cincinnati game, about actually your experience going to a Steelers game. And I've only ever been to one. And I grew up in Mechanicsburg, PA. Me and my wife, we live in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia now. And my wife surprised me with tickets to the Steelers-Baltimore game. You know, it would go down in infamy as the Immaculate Extension. You know, so
wow.
she wanted to do that for me.
You was at that game.
You know, that was her Christmas present to me. She knows I've been a Steelers fan since I was 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she really didn't start getting into football until we got married, but now she's a diehard Steelers fan. And we spent the whole day. We got Christmas morning. And again, I've never been to Pittsburgh before. You know, my whole family's nothing but Eagles fans, so I didn't grow up being able to, hey, can we go to a Steelers game? No, we're going to an Eagle game. You know, so when we got to the city, we came through the tunnel. You know, we went across the bridge. We had a Black and Yellow playing as she recorded it on her phone. You know, just coming into the city through the tunnel, going across the bridge. You know, going down to the state. That right there was. It was like I'm not saying it overshadows the birth of my son, but it's a close second. You know, I mean, just the memory is just etched in my brain, just coming through the tunnel and just seeing the stadium. And after that, we parked the car and we started walking. We had to find a place across the river from the stadium because we didn't want to spend the $40. You know, $40, $50 to park in the stadium. And besides, we got there early, and we wanted to see the city. You know, Christmas Day, things are closed that early in the morning. But, I mean, just walking around and seeing people, you know, couples, families, walking around at 8 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, and they're already ready for the game. I mean, it was fun, but there was, like, zero traffic.
Yeah.
There was no traffic to speak of, but people are walking around in their Steelers gear. Everybody's getting ready at 8 o'clock in the morning. Game doesn't start till 4. Anyway, so you get closer to the vendor time. You know, people are tailgating. You get to stay. I've never in my life I felt more at home than I ever have, just being surrounded by nothing but Steelers fans. You don't have people, you know, coming at you with, you know, Ben's a rapist and, you know, Steelers, you know, just because you got 4 of your trophies back in the state. Everybody's there to just be a Steelers fan. And then you get into the stadium, you get to see, you know, I forget what do they call it, the Hall of the Wall of Honor, or you know what I'm talking about.
When they got the trophy, Yeah, you go in there and you just see the trophies. You read everything they got put. I mean, just the atmosphere, and then being able to walk out into the stadium and actually see the field. I mean, and see the seats, and you know, we all know it was an amazing game. Don't get me wrong, but just the whole experience. To anybody who's never been to a Steelers game, the whole experience was worth every single penny. And needless to say, you know, like, you know, at the seats that we were at, I think it was Xavier Gribble got the first touchdown in that game. It was literally right in front of us. It was the worst part about that game was actually an extension for us, because you couldn't see it.
The people on the other end, we were watching the Jumbotron.
The screen,
but the people on the other end of the stadium started flipping out and screaming before we even knew it was that's how we knew it was a touchdown, because the other end of the stadium started freaking out. But legitimately though, that not just because it was an amazing game, the atmosphere. I mean, even my wife, you know, been a Steelers fan since 2010. She's a grown woman. I've been I've been a Steelers fan since I was a little bit longer than her, but even she says that's one of the greatest things that she's ever been a part of or ever seen. And I just want, since we don't have nothing to talk about really tonight, there's not a lot of news. I just want to be able to let people that have never been to a Steelers game, if you ever get the opportunity or the chance to go, it is worth every penny. I appreciate the time, Sim. Keep it going, man.
Yeah, man, I definitely thank you for coming on, man, and I definitely allowed him to go a little longer there because I wanted him to share that experience, just like I've tried to do a few times, man. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Pittsburgh and Heinz Field in a game, it's not like anything else, man. I tell you, as a Steeler fan, and I'm sure other fans of other teams will say the same thing, but it's amazing. And a couple quick pro tips, man. And actually, I just wanted to say this real quick. Me and you got a lot more in common. You say you grew up in Mechanicsburg. My wife actually works in Mechanicsburg. I think it's Mechanicsburg. And we live in York, so we're not that far. We're probably about an hour, a little over an hour away from Baltimore. So we're in like South, Pennsylvania or what have you. And I got to go to, not Roanoke, but I got to go out to Lynchburg, Virginia this weekend. My brother is getting his master's, from Liberty University. I'm not looking forward to it because that's, a good 4.5, almost 5-hour drive. But that's kind of ironic. You were close to where I live as far as where you grew up, and then now you out in Roanoke, and I'll be close to that area this weekend. That's kind of crazy. But pro tip, guys, when you go to the stadium, I learned this after several trips to Heinz Field. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it on the TV, but there's a train, okay? There's a train that goes right by Heinz Field. You see it from the parking lot. And one of the first times I went there, I said, you know what? Next time I go there, I'm going to find a train stop, okay? Because I grew up around, places. Even, again, you guys know I commute to D.C. once a week, on Fridays. And I lived in the D.C., Maryland area for a while. I've always been, even when I lived in Atlanta, I've always been around train, and I got family in New York. So I'm very similar, familiar with trains and metros. So that's nothing to me. So when I saw there was a train, I said, oh, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to find one of these stops, maybe 4 or 5 stops away from the stadium, park there, take the train in. Best decision I ever made. I ain't got to worry about all that traffic. I don't have to worry about the $40+ in parking. No. You park 4 or 5 stops away, hop the train, and let me tell you, on game day, ain't nothing but Steeler fans on that train. It's crazy. Okay? That's number one. Next pro tip. If you're trying to wonder what type of seats you should get, I've had both. I've had the close seats that I've paid $250 plus per seat for me and my wife. When I went with my cousin Floyd, if he's watching, he remember we went to the Saints game, the dreaded Saints game. I think it was 2013, I believe it was, when Ike Taylor was still on the team and the Saints came in there and Drew Brees was passing it all over the field. And it was the same game, man, where I feel bad for seeing this live, but the game that ended Brett Kiesel's career when he tore his bicep, we saw it happen in that game. We saw him walking off the field, running off with the arm, basically just hanging down. And I knew something was wrong then. We were at that game, right? We got the close seats. We paid, I forgot what section we were at, maybe like 200 something. Might have been 1 something, but it was, good seats with a pretty decent price, right? We're sitting down near the scoreboard, and we're right around the 20-yard line or so. Now, it's cool when they down there, but when they down the other side of the field, you pretty much, like my man said, you watching the Jumbotron more than anything else because you're too close to have that pulled back view. So the next time I went to the game, I got seats up in the 500s. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will never get another seat closer than about 500 for you guys that have been in Heinz Field. Right in the middle, like usually for you guys who've been there, I sit like in the 534 or 528-ish. That's a little closer to the other, the side of the lakeside. But right around 534, 533, beautiful. I mean, the view that you have, because you up so, you see the whole field. I'm telling you now, being close is not all it's cracked up to be, maybe unless you down all the way down on the sideline and you're in the middle of the field. But I promise you guys, Go with the lesser seats first. Don't get caught up in how much they cost. I'm telling you, your view of the field is immaculate up there in the 500s. Probably the 400s as well. So that's just my quick pro tip. But let me move on, man. We got some more callers in the queue. We got 3 more calls. Area code 412. You are live. What you got for us tonight, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful. I got a quick question and a comment. I'm really feeling Deontay, that 3rd round pick. I'm thinking that he's really going to push James Washington for a spot. James Washington really hasn't really showed me nothing, really. I think he really will push him for a spot. And that offense, by the people that they've picked, this offense is going to kind of look like the offense we had in around 05, 06. Remember that offense? If you can remember how that offense used to go?
Yeah, with the
offense
bus.
kind of reminds me about who they picking around, like, kind of 05, 06-ish, somewhere around there. Because we didn't really have a go-to guy besides Heinz then. And, we had a good running game then.
Very true.
I think it's going to go, I think it might go back to that. But that's all I wanted to say, man. You got a great show. I had found your show on by accident last year, looking for something else, and I've been watching you ever since, bro. And I really appreciate you because you go in depth with it, man. I like that, man. I'm going to hang up now, but I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Oh, man, I appreciate you as well, man. And see, I'm going to be honest, guys, as a content creator, and this is just a sidebar, those are the subscribers or the viewers that I love the most. I love everybody the same, but what I mean by that is I often get people, especially when I'm doing my gaming stuff, people will come into my stream or they'll leave a comment on my video, hey, sub for a sub. And people think I'm being a jerk when I say, nah, I don't really do that. But I try to explain why. I don't do the sub for sub thing. I think your content should be seen by people organically. You want people to be a subscriber or a viewer because they want to. And this is what I shoot for. Like my man just said, hey man, I found you by accident. And now I watch you all the time. Those are the type of people or the type of subscribers that I want. People who are genuinely invested in the content. Because those are the people who are going to stay around. And we become a family. We interact with each other. You guys depend on me. I depend on you. And for you content creators, those are the type of subscribers you want. You don't want the, hey man, can you subscribe? No. Because then they're going to leave. And you're going to start seeing your subscribers be up, then they'll go down, then some will fall off. So that's just a pro tip. But anyway, man, getting back to what he said. Yeah, man, listen, Ben Roethlisberger, when we won Super Bowls, it wasn't because we had the most dynamic offense. Let's just keep it honest. Now, I will say this. The NFL has changed. Maybe we can't necessarily be that team again, but I'm not opposed to it. If we can beat the ground and pound, and listen, the run game always works, particularly in the playoffs, in the cold time, and us being a cold weather team, outdoor team, we should thrive off of that. So we can be that kind of team, man, that can run the ball down your throat, and we got Ben Roethlisberger who will still air it out on you. Clock control, clock management, and then we can get our defense to play pretty solid. I'm cool with that. I don't care about scoring 100 points every game or 30 points per game. I mean, it was cute. It was cute when we were saying that, when we had that type of high-powered offense. But I also want to rely on the team that ain't got to put up 30. I like that old Pittsburgh Steelers team, man. Remember when they used to say, y'all remember this, you diehards remember this. Remember when we used to get in the fourth quarter and the commentators would say, yo, all the Steelers need is a touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, and they're gonna close the door. I want that team. Because you ain't always going to score 30. You're not always going to score 30. So that's what I want. And speaking of James Washington, man, Deontay Johnson, to me, if he's battling anybody for a position, it's probably going to be perhaps Moncrief. Reason why I say Moncrief is because preferably Deontay Johnson, they're going to groom him to be an X. The type of guy that will see more press coverage, more one-on-one. You know, he's on the opposite side of the offense. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times he's going to be the guy that's going to get the press in your face type of coverage. And that's what Moncrief has come in to pretty much be. Washington is more of a Z. Juju has played Z before, especially in the two-man, you know, the two receiver sets as far as two spread out. Juju can also slide in the slot. So Moncrief probably could make the adjustment to a Z. You know, let's say if we put Juju in the slot and then we have an X receiver and a Z receiver, then preferably what they probably wanted it to be is it's Moncrief and James Washington on the outside. But I could see a scenario where Deontay Johnson is at the X, they put Moncrief on the outside on the other side, and then slide Juju in the slot in three, receiver sets. So if anything, I think Moncrief, as far as, two receiver set, who's going to be the 1 and 2? I think Moncrief might have the position battle with Johnson more so than James Washington, only because of where they play. And believe it or not, man, I mean, a lot of people would think, well, they're both outside receivers, but it's totally two different types. The X and the Z are not the same receiver, even though they both play technically on the outside. So we'll see. That's just my assessment. I mean, it's not to say that James Washington could be the one that, maybe they trained Deontay Johnson to play more than one spot, because obviously they say they like his ability in the slot as well. So it could be a situation where they like his matchup in the slot at times, and you see Juju on the outside at the Z where he's comfortable at, and Moncrief at the X. So we shall see. But I appreciate the call nonetheless. We got some more calls, man. Let's try to roll through these because I don't want to be on extremely long tonight. Area code, who we got? 910. You are live. What you got for us, man? Yes, sir.
Is this Sim?
This is him.
Sim, what's up? This is Freddie from a couple of weeks ago. I was not in a frame of my mind so I just listened to the 1 hour and 55-minute show. It was pretty lengthy, and I enjoyed every second of it from listening to it, but I wouldn't have been good going on. You're a nice guy, nice friends, nice family. I wouldn't have sounded right last week, so I waited till I calmed down because I think they did a better job defensively than they did offensively, because other than the quarterback, the most important positions is wide receiver, the running back, and the tight end. And I would have went Ty Johnson with the running back with that 4-2-8.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have missed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have went Hakeem with the wide receiver. And I'd have went Alize Mack with Notre Dame tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
And so I was not. I didn't want to say it on your airwaves. I just calmed and watched the hour and 50-minute show and enjoyed it. But I waited till I calmed down. I'm a lot more calmer now. But they made a they did better in free agency than they did on the offense, in my opinion. I love Steve McShane. I love Steve, that running back, kick returner, punt returner. If you seen him?
Nah, I haven't.
That guy said a while ago he didn't have no speed. Type up the name on YouTube, Steve McShane. He comes from Western, I think, was it Michigan or Illinois is one of them. Western. Steve McShane, McShane. Type it up. I know I don't want to run you 2 minutes. Indulge me for a minute. If Kenyon or somebody would type it up and give us the play-by-play, this man's making people look silly.
Steve McShane.
You talking about he got no speed?
I'm writing them down right now.
You put in the fourth. You telling me Benny? When you look at him, you tell me Benny's got the third slot locked down. When you look at Steve McShane, I say I beg to differ. This guy is making people look like silly glue, man. Here's Steve McShane. They picked him up, and I said, this is the guy you should have in the fourth quarter. You go, here's what I'm saying, I'm going to turn it loose. You go, I would go Courier and Samuel the first three.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to a 5-man wide, offensive lineman 5-7 yards apart. You don't need but 5 of them. Just spread them out. Speed doesn't kill by itself. Speed put in space kills. And I go 3 in the backfield, two blockers in him, and I counter it. I bring one of those offensive linemen. So now you got 3 blockers from one side to the other out in front of him. If you miss a tackle, it's 6 points. This guy's name is Steve McShane. Now, you tell me Benny's got that third slot locked down when you look at Steve McShane.
I'm going to definitely check him out, man. I appreciate you calling. I'll give you a report on it, and hold me to that. If you call next week or even if you write a chat, say, hey, man, did you check him out? I wrote his name down. But here's the thing. 2 things. That's what I want you to call. I want you to call when you pissed off. This is a fan show. I wanted you to call then. So for future reference for any of you guys, especially when the season starts, call in. I want to hear all perspective. This is an opinion and perspective friendly show. I'm never going to challenge anybody's opinion. This is a free show for us all, for you all to get it off your chest. That's when you should have called. I wanted you to call last week and say, man, I'm pissed off about this draft. And we would have said, yo, let us hear it. And I say this. Second thing. It's interesting, man, and I think I said this to you when you called the first time, that you're more concerned with the offense. I'm not mad at that. Again, guys, we all have different opinions. Me personally, I think we definitely need to bolster the defense. So I'm not upset. Me personally, I'm not upset that we seem to do better defensively in the draft than we did offensively. However, I do agree with what you're saying. We got to have, in today's NFL, and the way we try to run things with Ben Roethlisberger, and again, we know he's won before without a high-powered offense. But to kind of keep some of the similarity and the normalcy of what we've seen in the last couple of years, we definitely need weapons on offense. Definitely do. Now, what you mentioned about the 5 wide and even putting 3 backs in the backfield, I don't know if we got the personnel to do those type of things. Even the type of linemen. We do got some athletic linemen, like Pouncey, even what's that boy, DeCastro. But I'm not sure we got the equipped personnel to run a full house, if you will, and just run that down the field. But yeah, listen, I'm not mad at that. We all have our opinions. No opinion is right or wrong. So I would have loved for you to have called while you were upset. That would have been great. But anyway, man, thank you for your call. Let's move on to the next one. 678 live on air. What you got for us tonight?
What's going on, Sam? So let me start off at the top. I think I talked to you 2 weeks ago, I think it was, shortly after they made the Deontay Johnson pick. So I too was pissed off when I called. I had to compose myself, take another look at the board, and see what we got going on. Now, I know the question is which draft pick will make the biggest impact. Somebody I'm looking at, though, one of these UDFAs that they just signed, PJ Locke. Are you familiar with him, the safety out of Texas?
Let's go. That's my guy, man. That's my darling for camp. That's my guy. I'm calling it.
Bet. We on the same page. All right, so I've looked at this dude, and I think that he might surprise some people because not only is he a thumper, but I think he'll get the opportunity to prove so because they didn't really address the linebacker position. I know Marcus Allen and Cam Sutton are some guys that have been talked about as far as going in that mix. But I think PJ Locke is a guy that could really lay the wood. He's athletic enough. Now, he is a little bit smaller than I'd like him to be, considering he'd be covering some of those bigger running backs maybe and some of those wide receivers, tight ends, etc. But I think that he's a guy who he can really fit in the system, and I think he really brings that physicality, something that you haven't really seen at that safety position, in my opinion, since the days of Ryan Clark. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Number two, that first caller, or not the first caller, but the guy two times before, who said that we're kind of revert back to that 04-05 offense. The only point I want to make about that is let's think very carefully if that's what we want, because while we did win the Super Bowl in that year, that was a godly defense, and Ben had arguably one of the worst performances of all time in a Super Bowl that year.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I want to see that again. That's just me personally. That was ugly. I think the offense has changed significantly. Ben's more mature. He can swing it. Of course, his decision-making still needs help, but he's getting the ball out quicker. So I like the direction that our offense is continuing to trend in. And I think a guy like Benny Snell is somebody that you want to keep an eye out for because he still fits that mold. You don't have to sit here and change your entire offense around this guy. I think you can kind of plug him in. And I don't think Jalen Samuels is the de facto number 2. I'd like to see Benny Snell and Jalen Samuels compete in camp. And I actually have a good feeling that Benny Snell might be able to overtake Jalen Samuels, because even watching Jalen Samuels last year, he did tear up New England. But I feel like a lot of that had to do with, yes, effort, and he got it together the week after the Raiders game. But I think a lot of that had to do with the offensive line showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where he kind of made his money in that game, in my opinion. Not to take anything away from the guy, because I like how he stepped up, of course, when, next man up. But I think that Benny Snell is a guy who really knows how to pound the rock. His pass protection, in my opinion, is a little bit better than Samuels coming out of college. And I think that this guy has the goods all around to be somebody you can just kind of slip in there, and you see where he goes from there. I just want to know your thoughts on that.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for your call. Man, you hit a lot of points there, and I'm going to address them really quick before I grab 410. Listen, man, I've been thinking the same thing as far as Benny Snell. Jalen Sam, I might have even said it last week. I can't remember, but don't want to take thunder from your point bringing it up. Man, listen, Benny Snell could end up the number 2. And I think I said exactly what you said about New England. Not as detailed, but I said that, okay, he had a great game in New England, but the following week, he just looked like a guy. A lot of things could have went into that. We were up for New England, obviously. There was an emotional game, pressure moment for him. He knows that things are going to be focused on him. Everybody's saying Steelers don't really have a chance without Connor, and they don't have Bell, and not without Connor. No way they're going to. So, he had a great game, like you said. Offensive line, we can't forget the fact that our O-line is one of the best in the league. There you have it. Great game, great game plan. What's that guy's name? Fichtner. Randy Fichtner called it a great game. He did some things to make that happen in that particular game. Some of those delayed handoffs. I mean, it was some plays, if I remember, in that game that we didn't really see much earlier this season. But he's not the traditional running back. Like you said, pass protection seems to be better with Benny Snell. I haven't honed in on it, but the few games that I paid attention to, I was looking more so at his running. Pass protection is probably better than what Jalen Samuels was. And he is more of a thumper. He is more like, mentality-wise, what James Conner is. James Conner has a little more pop in terms of quickness, but Benny Snell also has some quick feet. A bigger guy with quick feet. He ain't going to run away from nobody, but if he gets in open field, he might make something happen. You know what I mean? So he could end up being the number 2. Jalen Samuels could end up being the guy we bring in at times to receive or, be more the Swiss Army knife. So it is definitely not a guarantee that he's going to be the number 2. I'm glad you brought up the point about Marcus Allen, man, because I was going to dive into that when I go into my segment. Listen, man, I like Marcus Allen coming out of Penn State. He is more of a box guy. So I think PJ Locke, just what I'm looking at, I think PJ has more upside in terms of being able to play outside of the box as well, being more of a dual threat at safety. I think, he could be a box guy, but he can also roam from what I've seen. I'm going to watch some more tape on him. I want to bring up what Kenya said earlier. His tackling, could be suspect at times because, again, he's one of those guys that tries to come in and lay the wood all the time. You hopefully can clean that up, but I like his upside. And that's really what we're looking at, guys, is upside, especially when you're talking about UDFAs and even the draft picks. Now, I'm not even going to say upside with a guy like Devin Bush. I expect him to come in and ball out. At least when he gets his opportunity. I expect him to be the guy we saw in college. Again, he's still a rookie. It might take some time. But I need to at least see some Leighton Vander Esch type of production from him first year. I think that's possible. Vander Esch did his thing rookie season, okay? Now, everybody else is upside. Justin Lane, upside. And I'll go more into that, man, when I get to my segment. Let me get to the next call. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. Shout outs to Chris Maxwell. He said that Steve McShane would get killed in the pros. He says he's about 5'6" and 165 pounds. Yikes. So no disrespect to the caller, but yeah, a little body like that. We talking Chris Rainey. Chris Rainey might have been a little bigger than that, but we're talking gadget guy. What are we going to do with him? He's going to be a returner, if anything, and I think Deontay Johnson might end up being that guy. if it's not Ryan Switzer. So, yeah, I'm still going to check him out, though, and give my thoughts, but that clearly sounds like a special teamer. That doesn't sound like a featured back or even a guy that's going to be in heavy rotation. So, yeah, I pass on that. But the next caller, man, area code 410, live in the building. What we got for us tonight?
Hey, Sim, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, listen, man, I'm trying to understand what are you thinking about our defense this year with all the speed that we have in the AFC North now, and the hard receiving duos that we have, like Cleveland and the Ravens now that they got Hollywood. How do you think we're going to be able to do this season?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I try not to be overhyped and stuff when we get picks, and I look at everything from a realistic standpoint. I'm a little nervous because we still don't really know what the defense is going to be. I'm optimistic because I do think a guy like Steven Nelson, though he has some issues with pass interference, I think his toughness is going to help us in situational football with him and Joe Hayden, where I think now we could be a little more comfortable and say like a 3rd and 7. Maybe we go man and we could press on both sides and just, throw caution in the wind. I think those two guys can allow us a little more time to get pressure. I do believe Devin Bush is going to be a bit of an eraser like Ryan Shazier was. He's a little smaller, obviously, but I think his speed will give us what Ryan Shazier gave us, like the sideline-to-sideline ability. Like, think about how Shazier used to cover screenplays. If we could get that from Devin Bush, I think we'll be great. But I'm still a little concerned, man, with the middle of the field. I think all of us know that. The middle of the field has been the biggest problem with the Steelers over the last 4 or 5 years. And even though, Sean Davis was better last year at free safety, keeping a lid on things with his tackling, he still made some mistakes. He still took some bad angles from time to time. So it's, like you said, man, Hollywood is another fast guy. Look at who they had last year with Smokey Brown. And he got us a couple times with his speed. And then Odell and Jarvis Landry, that's going to be something. Your boy Baker Mayfield able to scramble around. I'm not going into this season thinking we're just going to win the AFC North. I'm a little nervous, but I think if the defense can pan out, maybe if Justin Lane, can be like a situational guy, maybe we get him in there to maybe press a tight end or something, like get more man guys on the field. If we can put that together, okay, I think we'll be all right. But a little nervous, man, because I just don't know how it's going to come together yet.
Man, you know what's so funny, man? This is Dez, man. I was giving the streets an example of how I can listen to this show, man. A Steelers fan that daggone recognize that the team ain't perfect and also recognize that Lamar's coming, Hollywood is coming, whole squad is coming. Y'all ain't ready to
Look, I'm
just messing with you, man, yo.
Look, Dez, this the funny thing, man. I had a feeling it was you because of the way you talk. How, like, when you was like, hey, man, how you feel about man? I said, yo, this sound like Dez. And that voice was crazy.
Oh, man, nah, man. I wanted to check in with you real quick when you was on the draft show, man, because I liked y'all draft for real, man, but I think I liked ours a little better. It's going to learn to you.
Hey, man.
And,
y'all did some things out there,
I'm telling
boy.
you, man, get ready, man. The AFC North is about to be crazy, minus the Bengals, yo. It's about to be crazy. I've been talking about Cleveland the last couple of years, nervous about them. I don't know what y'all about to do. I actually get a lot of the game from listening to this, but, like, I don't know, man. It's going to be curious to see who step up for y'all this year, man.
It is, man. Listen, man. You know how I always give it up to the Ravens. It's a respect thing because of the...
Yeah, likewise.
They drafted... Oof. I'm going to tell you, man. If Lamar Jackson is able to pass just a little more this year, bruh, I'm going to tell you that right now. Just imagine this as a Ravens fan. Y'all can do the run game thing, and then you can flip it, throw him in shotgun, and now he's effective in shotgun. Then you get back under center, play action. Then you can do the read option. Like, this could be a dangerous team if he is able to elevate his game a little bit.
Let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna get out of here, man. I thought that Lamar was the Ravens draft pick the year he won the Heisman, and I was in the very, very slim minority of people who actually believed at the time. All I'm gonna say is, if the play calling in the playoff game against the Chargers made sense, because they were coming at us with all these sub packages, and we was trying to spread them out against us. Now what we built for, if we daggone was going with them jumbo sets, 14 plays, 13 runs, 8 minutes off the clock, they was not about to stop us, and we finally started doing it into the game. And Lamar, quietly, people forget that Lamar put the team on his back in the fourth quarter and came yet again to Eric Weddle and C.J. Mosley blown coverage short for possibly winning the game. So the thing with Lamar, bro, is like whenever he had a clean pocket, the problem was he made 2 or 3 horrendous throws a game from a clean pocket. That is like you just basically threw a Madden 18 pass right into the ground for no reason.
Yeah.
Census pressure or whatever it said at the bottom of the screen. Like, it was inexplicable, but he would have so many just perfect dimes, bro. Just he's over the right shoulder for the right situation. I mean, listen, man, y'all need to be worried, man. That's all I'm going to say, man. Like, y'all just better hope that my man doesn't slide. That's what y'all only hope is that he doesn't slide, because I'm telling you, yo, like, the receivers, I know they look like they're going to be trash, but the tight ends are nice, and y'all always have to account for Lamar. People are going to realize, like, he doesn't want to run, but he will.
That's the thing.
At least from the past. He doesn't want to scramble. So y'all be careful, man, because, you know what I mean, I hear a lot of those Steelers fans over there talking about how nice y'all gonna be. I'm like, we'll see. I think Antonio and Le'Veon made a thing, but I don't know.
It's a big difference without those guys on the field, man. A huge difference without those guys. And Dez, man, I appreciate the call. Gonna grab these other two, man, so I can kind of wrap up the show. But listen, that's proof, guys, that you don't have to hate a Ravens fan. That's my dude right there. Me and Dez always chopping it up, and he's a Ravens guy. He lives in Baltimore, and it is what it is. We have good fun. None of that. I hate them, I hate you, and nah. It ain't got to be that way. But he's right. The Steelers. Listen, I've been telling y'all. I don't think we walk away with the AFC North. We got to prove it this year. We are going to be a totally different team with no Antonio Brown to offset the loss of Le'Veon Bell. Now they both gone. It's a lot of dudes we got to look at and see if they're going to step up. And the Ravens going to be right there. They're going to be right there with their defense, the offense. We'll see. Cleveland, man, we all waiting to see, but we can't sleep on them. Neither one of us can sleep on them. 803 and then 919. We'll get up out of here after I, give you my thoughts on who I think will be the guys that'll step up. 803, you alive? What you got for us, man?
Good evening, brother. How you doing? This is Jason.
Good. How you doing, Jason?
Not much tonight. Like everybody said, I feel that safety and maybe tight end could be our little bugaboo areas this year. That's what. Hopefully, if I get to see during the preseason, the camps and everything, and we can make some kind of improvement or have somebody come from out of nowhere to make me feel a little bit better about those two positions on the field. Because we do know McDonald can play like balls out one week and then he'd be hurt the next week. I hope this year we'll probably be a little bit more ball control. Especially using the fullback more. Nick's had a Pro Bowl year a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Last year and the year when Bell was running back, and most of the time you always see a one-back set. And I'm hoping we get back to two-back sets, using some tight ends when we need to run the ball. I miss those big running backs from back in the day. I remember, we had Bam Morrison, Jerome Bettis, Franco. You had Cincinnati with Pete Johnson and Larry Kennebrew. I miss the days of the huge running backs, and I hope one day we can get us a running back to really get that offense, But thank you very much.
Oh, no problem at all, Jason. Man, I appreciate you calling, and I got to agree with you definitely on one aspect. me and Tony screamed about this all last year. Why do we get down in the end zone? Red zone area. Well, not in the end zone, but right outside of the end zone. And we in the one back set. No nicks. I mean, come on, feet. Now, I understand y'all want to let Ben do his thing down there, but bruh, sometimes you just got to play AFC North football. Man to man. Nicks is looking to knock somebody's head off. Why are we avoiding that when we like 3 yards to the end zone? Come on, man. Come on, feet. Now, they ain't got to be finesse all the time. Sometimes it's just line up yours. I'm going to line up mine, and we're going to see who the man going to be at the end of the day. That's it. But all right, guys, we're going to take this last call. So if anybody listening, man, we're going to make 919 the last call. If you do happen to call into the queue and we got a little time, I may still grab you. But I just want to give you that heads up. And then I'll give you guys my thoughts, read some chats, and then we'll be up out of here. 919, what you got for us, man? Live tonight.
Hey, what's up, man? It's JJ, man. I just have one question for you, man. So,
yes, sir.
The other day, man, I was listening to Alex Kozoro on the Steelers podcast, and he did his little roster prediction and everything, and he had Ryan Switzer over Eli Rogers, and to me,
yeah, I heard that.
I feel like a lot of people are forgetting what Eli Rogers was to the Steelers. He was a pretty good slot wide receiver, and I feel like since he's been hurt last year, people forgot about him and think all of a sudden that Ryan Switzer is actually a better wide receiver than him. I'm like, well, let's pause on that. If you actually compare the two, Eli Rogers to me is a better, more quicker slot receiver and more natural slot receiver than Ryan Switzer. Yes, Ryan Switzer made some plays, but I think the better slot guy, if we're talking just slot receiver at that position, is Eli Rogers. Now, when it comes to returning kicks and punt return, maybe Ryan Switzer is better at returning kicks, but he ain't really been doing that too well this past season anyway. So I just want to get your thoughts on, did you agree with Alex Kozoro, or what's your thoughts on that, Eli Rogers, Ryan Switzer, comparison right there?
Yeah, man, I'll definitely give my thoughts. Appreciate it, JJ. And yeah, guys, listen, I always tell y'all to do it. Make sure you're listening to the Terrible Podcast with Alex Kozoro and Dave Bryan from Steelers Depot. If you're not listening to the podcast, make sure you are at least reading Steelers Depot. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Like I said, I'm a realist. I'm not the type of guy that says, oh, listen to me only and I know everything. No, I don't. I don't go as deep as these guys with the salary cap and breaking down draft profiles. Those guys are phenomenal at that stuff. And they always got information. They do this 24 hours a day. I'm basically doing this part-time. I still have a normal job that I work, so I can't dedicate as much time. Maybe one day I'll get big enough to where I could do that. Who knows? But at the moment, I'm always going to be real and refer you to other places. Yeah, go check them out. But to answer your question, JJ, before I do that, round of applause to BSG74. Appreciate the donation, my brother. Huge round of applause to BSG, man, for donating. And, for everybody else who donated tonight, I already called you guys out. And again, if you guys want to donate, man, right there in the bottom left corner, you can click the $ if you want to do it right here, YouTube. If not, if you prefer Cash App or PayPal, that information is right there in the description, right at the top there. Cash App is $SimFBallCritic. PayPal is randomemails04@yahoo.com. All right, so feel free if you want to do that. I would appreciate it, but don't feel pressured to do so. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Kenyon. Stop reading my mind, Kenyon. Come on, man. Stop reading my. Look, guys, I found out that me and Kenyon, our birthdays are like 2 or 3 days apart. We're both Aries, so no wonder we linked up and we think very similarly. But look, man. It's a lot of things that go into that. It ain't just, and I hate to say it like this because I don't want to make it seem like this always happens, but there's always influence, okay? One of those things is how well the quarterback likes a player. Now, Ben Roethlisberger, you could tell he likes Switzer. just from some of the personal interaction that Switzer talks about. And you can kind of see their chemistry, man. You can kind of see where Ben was earning, he was earning Ben's trust throughout the season. Now, here's the thing. It's not always about what happens on the field because things like that matter. I do like Eli Rogers, okay? And I know Nays or somebody in here was saying, Eli is super slow. I don't know. I don't think Eli is super slow. He might not be a burner, but Eli is quick. I like Eli's moves after the catch point. When Eli was, playing in the game, just think about the things that Eli has done well. There are some games he came up big. Matter of fact, I think in that Ravens game that my man talked about earlier, Eli made a huge catch in that game, that Christmas night, I believe. Eli has done some great things for us when he's healthy, but that's the problem. Eli hasn't been able to be a significant piece of the offense because he hasn't been able to stay on the field. Ryan Switzer, got a lot of time. And you also saw not only just Roethlisberger, you also saw Fichtner liking Ryan Switzer because obviously I don't recall seeing Eli Rogers getting a direct handoff, but they did it with Switzer. You see what I mean? So he does give you a little more, he has a little more to offer in terms of his return capability and how he might be able to apply that with the ball in his hand. And, you just see little things like that and you think that the team might like Switzer a little better. But I do like Eli Rogers. And I think it's going to be a pretty good battle in training camp, in preseason. You re-sign Eli Rogers coming off of the knee injury. You got Switzer and you got Deontay Johnson. Again, this guy will be probably handling some of the return capability. That might put a little more pressure on Switzer. It could be a situation where Eli Rogers is looking like the Eli of old. And they say, listen, we got a returner in Johnson. And Switzer's the man that gets the axe. Who knows? But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't like Eli Rogers. Eli Rogers is decent. I like what he can offer. I like what he has offered on the field with us. If you think about it, he's done pretty much as Switzer, or if not more. Think about it. I'm just talking about receiving. I think Eli has done more than Switzer. Been there longer, obviously. But I'm just saying. I don't think you look at those guys and say that, Switzer's way better. No way. I don't think that. I think Eli Rogers is capable of doing everything Ryan Switzer can do in the slot capacity. Just my opinion. So, we'll see. But I like Switzer. Don't get me wrong. Switzer made some tough catches. And I like Ryan Switzer. And like I said, I like the chemistry that he seemed to have with Ben Roethlisberger. It kept Ben from always forcing it downfield in double coverage sometimes. So, I'm rooting for both guys. Just give me the best guy that's going to be the best chance for our offense to be successful. And whichever guy that is, that's who I want on the 53-man roster. It's just that simple. I don't have a preference here. So there you go. So, all right, man, let me get into, the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the show here. I like the way this show went tonight, man. We didn't have a lot to talk about in here. We already, let me check the time here. An hour and 8 minutes in. It's funny how that always happens, man, when I say we don't have much to talk about and then it extends itself. So thank you for you guys calling in tonight. You guys have definitely helped me with that. So here's a question. Which of the Steelers draft picks will have an impact on the 2019 season? Here's how I feel. Obviously, Devin Bush. Devin Bush, I think will have a great impact. Whether he starts or not, it's not guaranteed, folks. I assume that he will end up being the starter at some point, because even if Vince Williams gets the nod, for seniority and as well him being the play caller and things like that, you got to expect that Vince Williams will probably start out as the starter or work as the number one. I think Devin Bush might overtake Mark Barron at some point. It's very possible to assume that Mark Barron and Vince Williams are going to be the starters out the gate. Probably more than likely in training camp. Probably more than likely in preseason. But we'll see. We'll see if Bush overtakes one of those guys. I don't think it's going to be Vince Williams again, because Vince Williams brings a lot of veteran stuff to the defense and he calls the defense. So I don't know if Bush is going to take his spot. But you never know. It may work out to where it's Bush and Barron. Because Barron might offer us more than Vince Williams can in terms of capability. But let's not poo-poo on Vince. I like Vince Williams, in the capacity in which he plays in terms of like early downs. Not my favorite when it comes to passing downs and coverage. But I like Vince Williams primarily against the run. I like Vince Williams blitzing. So maybe if he becomes a situational guy, cool. But we'll have to see. But clearly I think Devin Bush will be playing. He'll be in some type of package at some point, and he probably will overtake somebody's spot midpoint of the season. We shall see. Deontay Johnson, I think, is going to definitely have some impact. Again, I think he's going to be groomed and tried out on the outside more than anything. I think they're eyeballing him as potentially being the X, finding ways to get him on the field. Because let's not forget, Moncrief has worked in the slot also. So there's some interchangeable things happening there. If you want to keep Juju in the Z when it's a three-man, receiver, three-man set. I love Juju in the slot. Don't get me wrong. I love Juju inside, man. Man, he's a matchup nightmare in there. But if you could create similar matchups with other personnel, again, Moncrief could be a matchup nightmare inside with Juju at the Z and Johnson being at the X. Because Moncrief is a big guy. We're forgetting that. 6'2", I believe he is. He's a big receiver with some decent speed. So there's a lot of opportunity there. But I think Deontay Johnson is going to have an impact. If it's not offensively, I believe he's going to do some return duties. Justin Lane. Possible. I say possible, guys, because Justin Lane could be a guy that's just going to be groomed more than anything else. And, grooming him up to become the guy eventually. Could end up being like Cortez Allen was at first. Bring him along slowly and let him progress into the defense. Because you got to assume that Joe Hayden will be the starter. You got to assume that Steven Nelson is going to be the starter. Justin Lane is not going to get enough work, in my opinion, that he's going to take one of their spots. It'll have to be a situation where, in order for that to happen, I think they're going to have some packages where Justin Lane is on the outside. They move Steven Nelson into the slot and Joe Hayden on the other side. And they have some, packages like that. And if they see that Justin Lane is more favorable in that situation, then you could have a situation right there where, who knows, maybe Justin Lane turns into a starter and they move Steven Nelson inside. Again, he has flexibility. Talked about that when he was signed, but we've seen it. For you guys who watch more than just Steelers football, we've seen him do that at Kansas City. He started off inside, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Hilton, listen, I love Mike Hilton. I love his scrappiness, but I'm just saying, could Nelson possibly be an upgrade as far as full capacity in terms of the slot? Could be. I'm just saying, I don't know any of this, and I'm not poo-pooing on Mike Hilton. Love the guy. I'm just saying, Mike Hilton, there were some question marks with him last year. Remember? Year before that, he was the man. Both coverage, with a lot of man coverage inside, with his blitzing, wasn't as successful last year. So I'm just saying, you never know. They could be looking to, create competition in those areas. But I think that's the only way Justin Lane is impactful this year. Justin Lane could very well end up being a guy that's just sitting there, might come in situationally. He's going to be a special teamer, I'm pretty sure. And, he might just sit behind some guys if the defense is performing the way it should. If Joe Hayden and Nelson is getting the job done, there you go. So, again, I think the only way that happens is if they decide they're going to move Nelson inside and they want to try Justin Lane in situational football where we know we're going to run press, things like that. We'll see. So I don't know if he's going to make an impact. That's just my opinion. Some people are saying he's going to be the starter. I don't know how we can come to that conclusion so quick. I'm just trying to be a realist. And again, man, I saw some of you guys were, commenting earlier. Me and Kenyon had the same thought. We have to be realists when we're talking about players, man. We can't just go with our hearts and think, oh, this guy's going to be great. Or even with, with winning. We can't just assume we're going to win the North. We can't. We got to be realists. Cleveland has gotten better. The Ravens have seemed to be pretty steady, and they're on the uptick. You know, with a young, hungry quarterback trying to prove himself. You know, Earl Thomas back there. You know what I mean? So, and who else did Mark Ingram? Didn't they get Mark Ingram at running back? You know, so it's guys. We can't sit around and act as if the Steelers just going to be the best team. I hope we will be. I think we're talented enough to be, but we don't know that. Got to be realists. The next guy. Who's next? Benny Snell. I think Benny Snell will be impactful. I really do. Bold prediction. I think, and somebody said it earlier tonight. Shout out to the caller. Benny Snell might be the number 2 back before it's all said and done. Don't want to put this on him. James Conner could get an injury. You never know. You know, I think Benny Snell is your security, more so than Jalen Samuels. So even in a scenario where if Conner goes down for any amount of time, Snell is going to get a lot of rotation, whether it's Jalen Samuels or him at the number 2 spot. But I actually think that Snell is going to end up being the number 2 running back. That's just my belief. I think they're going to have that complement to James Conner, and Jalen Samuels will be more of the guy that we have special things for him. We're going to bring him out here as a decoy. When we're going to do receiving type of situations, things like that. But I really believe that Benny Snell will end up being the number 2 back. That's just my opinion. I see Nays disagrees with that. And again, it's just opinions, guys. None of us know. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. So who we got after that, man? Y'all help me out with the draft picks. Gentry. I don't see no impacts from him. I not this year. I think he's raw. I think what's going to hurt Gentry is he's not the traditional blocking tight end, which the Steelers like. Whether you guys believe it or not, I think that Grimble is probably still going to be the number 2, even though he's not as polished as we would like. But, you know, that's when seniority is going to kick in. He's going to be the number 2 over Gentry, I believe. I think the Steelers are looking at Gentry as a project or passing situations, red zone situations, where it's obvious that we're passing. Because, again, I don't think this guy is going to be up to snuff anytime soon with being able to block, where you can fool the defense, where they think it's a pass, but actually we're going to run the ball. I don't think we get none of that out of Gentry. Not initially. So I don't think he's going to be very impactful at all this year. Could be. And I'm not comfortable with Grimble. You know, Grimble shows some signs here and there, has made some decent catches, but I just can't get over. And again, people fumble, but it wasn't the fact that he fumbled in Denver. The biggest problem I have with him is what he said afterwards. I could have cut back and scored, but I wanted to run through the guy. Listen, man, I played ball, okay? I played defense and offense. And let me tell you, when I was toting that rock, a lot of times the open field, especially in the first quarter, I'm running right at you, okay? That was my mentality. You know why? Because in the third and fourth quarter, that safety, that corner, he ain't trying to tackle me no more. Because he remembered. And guys, I've done it several times. First play of the game, I'm looking for contact. Unless, obviously, if I had a clear path to the end zone to score. But first play of the game, I'm looking for contact, and I'm running smack through you. So and I get up and look right at you like, yeah, that's all night. So you know. This is what you got to deal with the rest of the game. So then I got you on your heels. I can run you over or juke you, right? But just the mentality, I still knew when to score. In a situation like Grimble was in, for you to say, I could have scored, but I wanted to run through, that ain't the time to run through the dude, man. I feel you, but that ain't the time. And I know you thought you was going to get in the end zone, but whatever, man, whatever. But, those just my thoughts there. I'm trying to remember the rest of the picks, guys. Y'all help me out, man. Who else am I forgetting? Who else am I forgetting, guys? Isaiah Buggs, I think. I won't say impactful. only because I haven't seen enough rotation from the D-line where he would be impactful. Think about, basically, I think Bugs is going to be, he's going to be what Daniel McCullers was in terms of when we brought him in the game. When we run like the 4-4, things like that. When you basically got that 4-4 front, but I don't see him rotating in as often as the others. Then he could break through, but Alu, whichever way you say it, I think it's Alu. He's gonna be the guy that's gonna get the rotation first. And Hargrave, even if it's situations where, remember, we run a lot of packages now, even when the sub, where it's Watt, Dupree, and then you got Tuitt and Haywood inside. So they're going to start using Hargrave, which they did later in the year last year, even as a rusher. So he's going to be rotating in there, and then Alu. So I don't see Bugs being, an impactful guy. What else, man? Who else I'm forgetting? Sutton Smith and Ulysses. Okay. Darren Gray. Darren Gray is not going to be impactful this year, which I hope not, because I'm hoping that offensive line will stay healthy. Let's keep an eye on right tackle, though. Who's that going to be? Is it going to be Chooks? We'll see. But I believe Darren Gray is a guard. Let's see. Ulysses Gilbert. Nope. Don't think so. Well, you know what, Kenya? Both him and Sutton Smith, I think in order for these guys to be impactful, they could be special teams guys. We could be looking at the new LJ Ford or Tyler Medikevich or Anthony Chickalo in terms of special teams play, or even a DHB. We could find in these guys they could end up being, more studs and a couple, one or two more studs on the special teams, which we know if Medikevich makes it, if Dirty Red is kept on the team, he's going to be a big-time contributor on special teams. That's what he's been. In terms of in-game play, I don't think Sutton Smith nor Ulysses Grant. Why am I calling him Grant? Ulysses Gilbert. Why am I calling him Ulysses? I'm thinking about the history guy. I don't think Gilbert would be successful or impactful with in-game play, because I just don't think they're going to get the opportunity, to be honest with you. Gilbert, it's going to take a lot for him to get on the field if we're going to play him at inside linebacker, because, again, even if Devin Bush takes place or one of the other guys, then obviously that guy is going to be the next man up. Grant, I keep calling him Grant, y'all. Help me out. Gilbert. Ulysses Gilbert is going to be, at very best, the fourth inside linebacker. Now you're talking about if there's an injury that he plays. So I just don't think he'll be impactful, because he's not going to be on the field to be impactful. And the same thing, man, with Sutton Smith. Very scrappy dude, man. I really like him. He's probably my number 2 camp darling that I'm going to keep my eye on, because I just like his scrap, man. But I don't think he's going to get many opportunities on the outside. Now, if they're talking about moving him inside, we shall see. But one of those guys may or may not make the team, especially if Dirty Red makes the team. And the Steelers are more than likely going to keep 4 inside linebackers, maybe 5. Maybe they do 5, 5 middle, 5 outside. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Or maybe if they consider Sutton Smith as an outside linebacker like they said they are, he might make it, because then you still got to battle with Chick and Ola, which I hope Ola, does something this year. So we'll see. So again, I don't know if those guys, I can't say that those guys are going to be impact players this season, because I just don't know how much time they're going to get on field, defensively, and one of those guys might not make the squad. So there you have it. Did I miss anybody else, guys? Did I get all the draft picks? I think I got them all. And Nays, I'm gonna comment again. It's just my opinion. Don't take this negatively or nothing like that. But I feel like sometimes you kind of remind me of how I used to be like 10 years ago, where and again, if this is not what you're doing, then disregard what I'm saying. I'm just giving you my thoughts based off of the comments. I get the impression sometimes that, you know, you have a lot of hope for these guys as far as what they can do and how you would use them. But I've grown past that, man, and I've started to look at how the team views things. Like, I noticed you said, you know, what about the AAF guys? They could be, but I don't even know if these guys are going to make the squad. And see, that's another thing. We don't know, you know, maybe the Cameron Kelly kid or Tacho, one of these dudes. We don't know. I don't assume these guys are going to make it. But somebody could end up being that camp guy. It could be that Mike Hilton. You know what I mean? It could be the Mike Hilton of the world that ends up showing up and showing out, and it becomes a valuable piece. That's great. But I just don't see it now. You know, because it's a lot of traffic to go through. You know, again, I'm pulling for PJ Locke. I would love for him to be a type of guy that, you know, nobody saw coming, and he ends up being impactful this year. You know, he's not a draft pick, but you just never know. Yeah, I covered Willie Willis. I basically said that I don't think he's going to be an impact guy this year because I don't think he's going to get enough rotation where he's impactful. You know, maybe a couple plays here, a couple plays there, you know, in a backup capacity, but I just don't see that he's going to get enough time. Yeah, man, I'm rooting for Locke, man. I'm really rooting for Locke. I hope he makes the team, man. I really, really do. Again, like Kenya said, you know, he's a little suspect at times with tackling. A lot of these guys are, you know, like Ulysses Gilbert. One thing I notice about him, he seems to wait for contact at times. I don't like that. But that guy's fast. And that guy he seems to have a knack for pass coverage. I mean, you see this dude lined up, split out quite often. Go watch his tape. A lot of times he's on the slot guy. I mean, they got him playing way off the line. But to me, he seems like he waits for the contact to meet him, doesn't drive through it. You know, whereas a guy like Devin Bush is driving all the way through that contact. So little things like that, man, he's going to have to fix, you know, if he's going to make an impact in the NFL. Because everybody's coming 100 miles per hour in the league. But that's about all I got, man, in terms of those guys. Let me see what a couple of you guys are saying, and we're going to wrap up here in just a hot second. Nay says, of course I'm hopeful, and how would you use them? The coaches really suck sometimes. Again, Nays, this is where I fall back. I fall back and I say that I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what's better for the team more than the coaches that see these guys on a day in, day out basis. I just can't do that. Again, I used to be that way. 10 years ago, I used to be that way, and then I'm like, wait a minute. You know, I don't always agree with the coaching, but there's no way that I can honestly say that I would utilize the personnel better than these coaches who have done this on a professional level and or college level. And they're with these players every single day. They see them practice. They see their demeanor. They know their capability. And on top of that, there's no way that I know that if I were to do it like that, it would work. Because what happens if I get the golden opportunity? Hey, SimFBallCritic, we're going to allow you to come be a defensive coordinator for a series. I'm switching guys in and out and get scored on the first play. Then what? You see what I'm saying? So I just fall back when it comes to that. I'm not going to do that and say the coaches are stupid. I'm not. Now, I might not agree with everything, but when you're in the throes of the moment, you know, some of the decisions, yeah, it's easy for me to say sitting on the couch. That's one thing. And there's some things that we can look at and say, man, I wouldn't have done that as a coach. But as far as like the talent and who they should play and who they shouldn't, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm not. Because, again, I don't know the full schemes and the intention behind them and things like that and these players' capabilities, because I'm just looking from here. I'm not with them. So I will never act as if I know more than the coaching when it comes to playing certain guys. Let's see. Kenyon says, I was never like that, Sim. Always even kill. I wouldn't expect nothing less from Kenyon. Man, y'all got to do better with these likes, though. Let me put the green thumb up, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to do better. Help me out, man. Y'all say y'all want me to grow and get even bigger and better. But here y'all can't even like the video. 90 people right now currently watching and only 32 likes. Come on, man. Y'all got to help your boy out a little better than that. Vista Light says, are we going to be more razzle-dazzle this year? We shall see. We shall see. I think we need to get a little more creative this year because, again, we don't have AB drawing that coverage. Nay says, F yo video. Wow. He did say laugh out loud. Let's see. Dupree at inside linebacker. No. Who said that? David Muse says, what about put Dupree at inside linebacker? Before I challenge it, David, if you don't mind, tell me why. Tell me why you move him to inside linebacker. I just want to see your thought process. If you don't mind, then I'll give you my thoughts on it. Tevin Jones will draw the coverage. Y'all talking about the kid that was on the practice squad? Okay. I'll be honest, man. I don't know much at all about him other than the fact I watched him in preseason last year. I don't know much about what he brings to the table. Okay, so David says because of his speed. I think I see where you're going, David, but I will say this, man. It's more to it than just speed at middle linebacker. Believe it or not, I would say that Bud's lack of pass rush counter moves would make me fear him at inside linebacker. He's big enough, fast, but he don't. It doesn't seem like he would be a good block shedder because again, he doesn't have a counter even when he's pass rushing. So again, I know some people will say those two things are not one and the same, but looking at it from a scout side of things, again, even when I played ball, it was times when coaches recognized certain skills and dudes was like, yo, you know what? Let's put him at cornerback because of this and this and this and that. You know what I mean? So to me, Dupree, I don't see block shedding capability with him. And I think it would be a nightmare in inside linebacker. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. I like Benny Snell. Ram Jam Flim Flam. I love that name more than anything else. Ram Jam Flim Flam. Yeah, man. I like Benny Snell, man. I just like that bruiser mentality that he has. And some quick feet. Dragon Jay-Z says, I feel like he would be faster than Vinny there. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you guys with the speed. I'm not comfortable with Bud because Bud just doesn't show me. I just don't see block shedding ability. And you're going to need that. You're definitely going to need that at inside linebacker. And I also don't know if Bud would be able to shoot the gap the same way, say, like Ryan Shazier did. So I just don't know. And again, he has the intangibles, speed, weight, things like that. I just don't know if I've seen enough to feel like he could do it. Just my thoughts. Jesse says, what y'all say? Somebody says something about Mason Rudolph. Dobbs or Rudolph? I'm hoping Rudolph, man. No, nothing against Dobbs, but I think Rudolph, the way our offense works, Rudolph you would think would be more of the preferable type. Wasn't really comfortable with Dobbs in the Raiders game, and I know that's, thrown into action, I know, but I just didn't like what I saw from Dobbs, man. Dobbs just didn't look comfortable, even when his feet were set. Just sailing balls all over the place. Could have been nerves, could have been jitters. Not forget when he was at Tennessee, that was one of the knocks. It's accuracy. So I think Mason Rudolph has the ability to be a better pocket guy. So I'm rooting for Rudolph. If Rudolph doesn't become the number 2 this year, I'm a little ticked off by that pick. Okay? A little ticked off. One of these guys need to be the standout number 2. Pick both of them in the 3rd round in back-to-back drafts. So, yeah, Rudolph needs to show and prove. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Hold on, let me read this one. Panero 5, Paro. I'm probably saying that all wrong, my bad. He says, I can say this. This is the first draft that I really liked from 1st to 6th. In about 8 years, Ziggy Burns. What you say? 8 years. Ziggy Burns, Edmonds, I mean, what the bleep was we thinking? I feel you, man. Ziggy was kind of a reach. Burns was the last man on the table, and they knew they had to take a chance with somebody in terms of cornerback in the 1st round. It was a project. Terrell Edmonds, I'm not too mad about it, man. I think we were in the same situation. The inside backer wasn't there. We needed somebody that could, preferably play as a linebacker, a dime backer, if you will. I think that's what Terrell Edmonds was meant to be. Obviously, because we had Morgan Burnett to rotate duties with Sean Davis, and Burnett didn't stay healthy. And then he showed us, even when he was healthy, just still wasn't the guy. He got beat down the seam quite often on tight ends, and Edmonds was forced to play it. So I don't think it was a bad pick. I didn't call it in the 1st round, and I think Edmonds will turn out to be something. I don't think he's going to be bad at all. I think Edmonds will turn out to be better than what a lot of people think. Hopefully, we'll see. And let's see a few more, man. I'm gonna read a couple more. My brother Tony says Bud Dupree is not all that good in coverage. He has to be the defensive quarterback. He isn't cerebral. Listen, Tony makes a great point there. Let's not forget, that middle linebacker definitely got to cover down the middle of the field. I don't know if I trust Bud doing that. Jesse George says, when Timmons came out of college, he was never going to be a coverage linebacker. He was a thumper, and I mean, he could cover okay, I guess. Yeah, definitely at Florida State. He was going to be an outside guy for the most part. But Timmons was fast. But Timmons was also more of a cerebral guy. And he gelled into that middle linebacker role. So again, I'm not disagreeing with anybody. From a measurable standpoint, Bud Dupree, you would say, wow, I wonder what would happen if we put him at the inside. He just hasn't shown me enough to make me think he would be successful. That's just me. All right, and the last comment of the night, Freeman Marcus says, what happens when the Browns lose 3 in a row? The hype goes away. Yeah, whatever. I ain't really worried about them, and I'm not hyped about them either. I just know we got to play them twice. But you're right. When they start losing, it's going to be interesting to see what the media says, since they got the Browns winning in the division over both the Ravens and the Steelers, just off of speculative talent and what they could do. So it will be interesting, man, if they have a bad start. So we'll see. But all right, man, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. This was a very, 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 very long podcast, an hour and 37 minutes. So I'm going to thank you guys for coming by, man. Listen, if you want to donate, again, I just have to remind you guys, listen, and I'm not the one doing it. A lot of people tell me, hey, man, you should always remind people. So, again, I conversate with other streamers and guys like that. So I'm trying to follow the normal things that people do. If you guys prefer to donate, right there in the bottom left corner of the chat, there's a $. Have at it. That comes to YouTube and comes to me indirectly. If you prefer not to do it here on YouTube and you like a more, as you might feel, a more private feature, Cash App is available, as well as PayPal is right there in the description if you want the address for either one of those. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you like what you saw tonight, take a chance on me. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm sure I won't let you down, and if I do, you can unsubscribe. It's very simple. Don't cost you anything. But then also, man, if you are subscribed or if you became a subscriber tonight, click on that little bell, click on the notifications so you know when I am streaming or if there's any pre-recorded production that is coming your way. And last but not least, pound the like button. You have no idea how much that helps. It helps me tremendously. Pound the like button if you like what you saw or if you dislike what you saw. I'm open for all opinions. But outside of that, man, I'll catch you guys later. If by chance I do a Steeler report later in the week, you guys come on and hang out again. But if not, you'll definitely see me the following Tuesday for a Terrible Towel Tuesday. So hope you guys have a great week. Watch some playoff basketball. Hope my Sixers can get a game win tonight. Because if not, I think it's over for us. But watch some basketball or watch some hockey, whatever floats your boat while football is over. But just have a great week. Be safe. Be blessed. Be healthy. And I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.